Hello and welcome to my presentation on the dangers of student debt, why it exists, what it can do, and how to avoid it. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, the average annual cost of a four-year college is $28,000 per year. This is from the 2019 Digest of Education Statistics. It is crazy to think that an 18-year-old could pay for all of this all at once. Well, that's why student loans are in place. Because we all know student loans are a great option. Except they aren't. Realistically, you probably know somebody who's still paying off their student loans. You might even know somebody who's absolutely crippled by it. The results speak for themselves. As for my own credibility, I've never been to college myself, nor have I incurred any debt. But I have met many people who have, and done extensive research on the topic. If you are not part of the Peter G. Foundation's estimated 41% of people who live in a household that is affected by student debt, or you just need a refresher, this presentation will go over why student debt is so prevalent, the dangers of student debt, and how to avoid it. This graph is from the 10 Key Facts About Student Debt in the United States of May 5th of this year. Let's talk about the prevalence of student debt. College is expensive. According to College Board, tuition has doubled since the 1980s. This is per the Trends in College Prices by the College Board of October 27th of this year. Some of the factors that affect this expensive experience is inflation. Over time, money is worth less, and therefore you have to pay more for the same things. Also, demand in college has increased, which I'll talk about in a minute. And federal and state funding for colleges has drastically decreased, meaning colleges have to ramp up their prices in order to afford the same programs. Talking about demand, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, people with a degree make on average 80% more than those without. That generates a sort of demand and a covet for this degree when it might not even be worth it. And social norms dictate that if you don't go to college, you're just not smart. Social norms also dictate that student loan debt is a good kind of debt, when in reality it isn't. It's just debt. That U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics can be shown here on this graph. This graph is current as of November 8th, 2021. This blue line here is the median weekly earnings of people with a bachelor's degree or higher, and the red line is the median weekly earnings for people who are just high school graduates without college. As you can see, employed full-time people with a bachelor's degree make a lot more money than those without, and that generates demand for these degrees, allowing the colleges to charge more. Let's talk about the dangers. Obviously, there are the costs that come with student loan debt. Inflation over time build up these costs, and according to the Education Data Initiative, taken in May 5th, 2019, the average monthly payment on student loans is $393. Another danger, and in my opinion a bigger one, is the effect on your credit. Having outstanding debt or missed payments can severely lower your credit score. And credit score is what allows you to buy things such as a house or a car or even get loans for other things. Think about the missed opportunities that come with that. Wanting to start a family, but you can't because your credit score is too bad and you can't afford a house to support you. Or wanting to work at your new dream job, but you can't afford to get a car because of the jacked up interest rates that come with having a high credit score. Let's talk about some alternatives to student loans. Obviously, you can get scholarships and aid. According to Nerd Scholar of January 2015, 47% of high school graduates skipped the FAFSA, resulting in $3 billion in unused federal aid. During college or between college, you can work to get the money you need to pay for college without having to take on student loans. You can take a gap year between years in college and work your butt off to pay off for the next year, or you can work during college, which is usually considered an uncomfortable option, but if it means avoiding student loans, it could be worth it. Also, you can do other things to lower your college costs. You could go to community college, like we're doing, and save a lot of money. Or you can lower your college standards. Instead of going to a private, out-of-state school that you really want to go to, try looking in-state for a public school. It'll really reduce those costs and help you later on by not taking on student debt. Throughout this speech, you have gathered a lot about how harmful student loans can be. But I want to make this clear. They should not be avoided at all costs, only at most costs. Student loans can still be a helpful tool to those who need to pay for college right now and can't afford it and are okay with paying it off later. It's important to stay informed about this so that you don't make the wrong choice and live with debt for a great portion of your life. It's always important to be informed. If there's one thing I want you to remember from this speech, it's that why is student debt so prevalent? What are the dangers of student debt? And what are the alternatives? Remember, student debt is prevalent because of inflation, demand, and lower funding. The dangers include costs and harm to your credit score, and the alternatives are scholarships, working, or lowering your standards for what it means to go to college. Together, through information and understanding, we can stop the student debt crisis that plagues America. Thank you.